All right, let's start with an idea that might sound a little backwards at first. What if that deep down instinct we all have to play it safe is actually the single biggest risk to our own growth? Yeah, it's a paradox, and we're going to unpack it right now.
So let me ask you this right off the bat. That cozy, predictable bubble you've created for yourself, is it really a sanctuary? Or is it slowly, quietly becoming a prison? That's the question we really need to dig into.
And this brings us to what we can call the safety paradox. See, to really get this, we have to look at where that drive for safety even comes from. It's kind of like we're running ancient survival software on the brand new hardware of our modern lives. Now, this isn't some kind of personal flaw, It's just biology. For our ancestors, staying in the cave and avoiding that weird rustling in the tall grass, that was a genius survival move. The ones who were cautious are the ones who lived. We are literally the descendants of the best safety seekers on the planet. But here's the thing. Here's the big twist. In our world today, that same instinct gets all mixed up. We're not dodging saber-toothed tigers anymore. No, we're dodging asking for a promotion, or starting that side project, or just speaking up in a meeting. We've totally confused real physical danger with a little emotional discomfort. And that right there is the trap. So what's the big deal? What's the real price we pay for falling into this trap? Well, that brings us to the price of comfort. Because believe me, staying still is not free. It has a hidden cost, and it is steep. So what even is a comfort zone? It's not just a nice, cozy spot. Think of it more like a state of mind that gives you the illusion you're in control. But in reality, all that calm is making you weaker, more fragile when life inevitably throws a curveball your way. And this is how it gets you. It's a silent dream killer. It's that little voice whispering, not yet, or wait for the perfect moment. And while you're waiting, it's chipping away at your skills, shrinking your worldview, and stopping you from building the one thing that gives you real security, your own internal strength. This feeling is just perfectly captured by this idea. It says the more you hide, the smaller your world becomes, until the comfort zone that once felt like a sanctuary begins to feel like a prison cell. What started out as your shield becomes the very walls that box you in. It really just boils down to a fundamental truth of nature. Use it or lose it. Just like a muscle, your ambitions, your skills, your spirit, they need resistance to grow. Without a challenge, they don't just stay put. They get weaker. They atrophy. Doing nothing isn't a neutral choice. It's a slow decay. Okay, so this leads us to a really critical moment in how we think about all this. We have to completely reframe the debate. It's not about success versus failure. It's about a much bigger choice: failure versus regret. Let's just break this down. Failure, it hurts. No doubt. It's a sharp but temporary pain. But it gives you information, it teaches you something. Regret, on the other hand, is totally different. It's that dull, chronic ache that can last a lifetime, and it's always fueled by that haunting question, what if? Failure is a battle scar. Regret is a blank page where an adventure should have been written. And hey, this isn't just some nice theory. This is one of the most consistent things researchers find when they talk to people at the end of their lives. The sting of falling down and getting back up, that fades. But the ache of never even trying to climb in the first place, that's the one that sticks around. So what do? Just start being reckless? Jump out of a plane with no parachute? No, absolutely not. The antidote is a skill, something we can all learn. It's the art of the calculated risk. It's about being smart, not just impulsive. And it breaks down into a pretty simple 4-step playbook. First, you assess. Look at the situation for what it really is. Second, you analyze. What is the actual worst-case scenario, not the monster your fear is making up? Third, and this is the big one, you ask, can I survive it? And almost every single time, the answer is going to be yes. And once you know that, you act. You move forward with the fear. You don't wait for it to disappear. What this all comes down to really is a huge shift in your mindset. You stop playing defense, just trying to protect what you already have, and you start playing offense, going after what you could gain. You're moving from a mindset of preservation to one of creation. And that brings us to the final, and honestly, the best part, the reward of action. Because when you start moving, you're not just trading safety for risk. You're trading stagnation for pure, raw vitality. And what happens is you create this amazing positive feedback loop.
It starts small, you take one tiny risk, and guess what? You survive. You learn something new. That builds a little confidence, and now you're ready for a slightly bigger risk next time. See? Action breeds confidence, and that confidence fuels more action.
But the real prize here, the ultimate reward, it's not some external trophy. It's internal. It's the fact that you become a bigger, more capable, more resilient version of you. You literally expand who you are and what you're capable of doing. So I'll leave you with this direct question. Forget about some giant leap. What is one small step, one tiny calculated risk you can take today to just nudge yourself off that comfortable, well-worn path? Because in the end, that's the real calculation, isn't it? The only thing you truly stand to lose is the heavy, crushing weight of what ifs. And that is the one risk none of us can afford to take.